This is going to be multiple parts. I know you guys are just as shocked as I am to see my hair this color. Share this to literally everybody. There is no reason why she didn't, one, own up to her mistakes, or two, fix my hair. She decided to freak out and say that she didn't feel safe with me because I was crying and kick me out of her house. I have never experienced this amount of unprofessionalism in my entire life. And I will be posting this for weeks on end to spread awareness about this because it is not okay.
I shut down. I got really scared, and because this is my biggest nightmare. And it was happening in front of my eyes.
Her hair doesn't look like the inspo photos. That is true. However, when has being so awful to someone and blasting them online, I don't understand this mentality of like, I'm going to treat someone so terribly and in a way that I would never want to be treated to get my way. Hey guys, it's Briar of Briar Chats, and this is a safe space for hair toner. Now, how do I put this politely? What the fork is going on with hair talk? Now, to me, Tonergate 2024 is simply but a accumulation and anti-slayification of all of the energy that has been happening on the hair talk side of TikTok. It feels like all of that energy has built up and just exploded in this most recent drama that is Tonergate. So yes, in today's video, we are going to be yapping about Tonergate. We're going to be reacting to and watching all of the TikToks that everyone made about it. But then I did want to kind of talk about the bigger implications of it all, the bigger anti-slayification energy that was created on the side of TikTok, and just like thoughts and opinions about it. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick around and let's get into it. First things first, I'm the realist, but also I don't know these people in real life, so I cannot comment on their quality as a human. I cannot comment on their intentions. What we are going to be commenting on is people's behaviors, the posts, the videos, the yaps that they have said in these things they've put on the line. We don't know them. We're just yapping about it. This is a space where we can yap, but we're not like, oh my gosh, boo, tomato, tomato, this guy stinks. So let's simply start at the beginning, which is a tale as old as time, if you will. A girly pop making a TikTok before and after video to show off her hair for her vacation, because that is something us girls do on the Clock app. Yes, it's true. If there's one thing about us, if we're going to the hairdressers, we're going to be taking a before and after. So let's simply start at the beginning, see where this all came from to understand how it blew up into what it is now. Okay, so the caption is, when your hairstylist ruins your hair, story time coming soon. And as we can see, she was sitting in the chair, looking pretty clearly to be getting some blonde highlights. It was looking pretty ashy. I would say that that was like a hair color I personally was aspiring to back in the 2010s, but I understand most blondes don't really want that, and you can kind of see like it's grayer at the top than the bottom. It's clearly not what she was going for, and I feel like this truly is a story that all people that go to hairdressers can relate to. Raise your hand if you have gone home and cried after going to the hairdressers. Me, I personally was victimized when I was cutting my hair short, and he gave me short at the back, long at the front, and I just felt like a Karen, and I literally sobbed. It's true. It's not that rare. We've all been there. However, this is not per se where the problems arise, because this is a normal experience. This is a very human experience. People relate. And the people were eagerly awaiting the story time. So let's hear all about it.
This is going to be multiple parts. I know you guys are just as shocked as I am to see my hair this color. For example, this is what my hair looks like. If you don't know me, this is what my natural hair has looked like my entire life. This was my hair 2 days before I went to go get more highlights in my hair. And this is my hair now. Here's the backstory. Local hairstylist in my area reaches out to me on Instagram, asks me if I will post in exchange for getting my hair done, and I do. I've been seeing her ever since, every 6 months. It's that time of year again. It's my birthday. I'm treating myself. I literally leave to go out of the country tomorrow night. So on Wednesday, I decided to get my hair done. I show her these inspiration photos. And this one, told her I want to be brighter, beachier, blonder, something different than what I usually do. I want to be lighter. She turns me around in the chair and my hair looks like this. It is gray. I was so upset. I almost started crying in her chair, and then she decided to gaslight me and tell me it was not gray at all, that it was blonde, and I just needed to go home and wash it, and I needed to get used to it. As soon as I walked out, I got into my car, I texted her, I said, I'm having a meltdown. I sent her the photo, I sent her my inspo photos, and I said, I'm going to have to come back ASAP. I can't leave the house. It's super gray. I thought it was going to be more blonde and light. This is after I washed it, okay? After I washed it, it was super gray. It looked horrible. This isn't even blonde. I was stressing out and she would not respond. I texted her again. I said, I washed it. It's worse. Are you available tomorrow? I'll come as early as you need. I don't want to go to Thanksgiving with this color. This is what it looks like now. Hours and hours and hours. No response. I questioned it. Then she says this whole message. This is like the bulk of it. She said in her eyes, that picture I showed her was a cooler tone blonde. That if I'm not happy with it, I can let it soak in Dawn dish soap and then reach out Friday to set up a plan. This is what my hair looked like. It was the same color as my towel. I said, it's like gray brown. I really wanted like the photos. Let's plan for Friday. I'm devastated. No response. Yesterday, did the Dawn dish soap, texted her again. Me in the shower with the Dawn dish soap, soaking, literally green and gray running out of my hair. No response. Go to part 2 to read what happened today and now why it is brown and red.
So this truly is, well, as I understand it, a blonde's worst nightmare. And I feel like this in of itself, it's not that crazy bananas. This is something a lot of people have done before. However, it's interesting to me that the immediate reaction in her caption is share at Hair by Goldie. Don't worry, Hair by Goldie will enter the chat in a minute. The response in the comments are varied. Some people are like, hey, this happened to me. I contacted the hairdresser and then she fixed it instead of dragging her online. Like, hope this helps. Whereas other people are like saying Dawn dish soap, giving recommendations, just saying to wash the out of it. People are trying to be helpful. And at this point, people are not against her. Like, the negative comments on this video now is because what has happened since, but at the time people are pretty validating, especially as the blondes. Like, the blondes are uniting in the chat. They're like, my blonde is very important to me, my identity, my self-esteem. They relate, they get it, and I think a lot of people can relate and understand, and that's why initially people didn't see this as a problematic story time. But let's move on to part 2.
Part 2 of how my hairstylist destroyed my hair. So we're supposed to be planning for Friday, which is today. I call her, immediately gets sent right to voicemail, text her multiple times. I am leaving to go out of the country. I'm trying to plan my entire day around this, which I understand she's busy and that's fine, but it's super unprofessional to have no communication and not set a time when you have messed somebody's hair up. So all day I'm waiting around to hear something. At this point, I'm thinking she's ignoring me. And I said, hi, I'm really upset. I'm not sure if you're busy with clients or if you're avoiding me, but I'm very self-conscious about the way my hair looks. I'm very unhappy. We planned today from not hearing you. Half the day's gone. This was sent around 1 o'clock. I said, this is what my hair looks like. I hope that something medically isn't going on, like she's not in the hospital or something. I said, let me know what the plan is. I leave to go out of town. I've watched it multiple times. This is not like the photos. And I sent her a picture of my hair. And then at 2 o'clock, she finally responds that she's been busy all day and wants to do tomorrow, which I leave to go out of the country tomorrow. I have to pack to leave. So I said, I prefer today. I thought that was the plan. And then she sends me this saying that I don't appreciate the way I've been spoken to with all this. I'm a human being. I have been stressed to the max. I paid $300 for my hair to turn gray when I have had beach blonde, natural blonde hair my whole life. I said, I can be there at 4. Maybe you're reading my messages wrong. I've been waiting all day and I'm worried. I get to her house. She's doing this out of her house, not a salon, okay? So mind that. I get to her house, I sit down, I talk to her, tell her I don't like the gray. It's not like the blonde that I've always had. It doesn't have any blonde in it whatsoever. And I asked her how we could fix it. She told me that she could tone it and it would turn to the blonde photos of Sydney Adams that I showed her for my inspo photos. I said, if that's all it needs, then yeah, I'm trusting that you're a hairstylist and you know what you're doing. She puts the toner on me, blow dries my hair. I turn around, I look at myself in the mirror and I immediately start crying. Because now at this point, my hair is reddish, brownish, I don't know what it is. So I'm crying in the chair and I'm going, oh my God, what is going on? Why is my hair this? And she backs up and tells me that she doesn't feel safe with me in the house and wants me to get out. She doesn't feel safe because she ruined my hair and was too embarrassed to admit it. So obviously I got up and I was like, I want my $300 back. You literally destroyed my hair. It seems like you sabotaged my hair. If you knew you couldn't do it, you should have said that. Walks me out, shuts the door on me, doesn't apologize, doesn't say anything, and I'm left with this reddish hair. And my birthday, I leave to go out of the country tomorrow. For example, this is my hair with the flash on. My hair is a coppery, I have no idea what this is. It is absolutely horrible. Extremely unprofessional. Share this to literally everybody. There is no reason why she didn't, one, own up to her mistakes, or two, fix my hair. She decided to freak out and say that she didn't feel safe with me because I was crying and kick me out of her house. I have never experienced this amount of unprofessionalism in my entire life. And I will be posting this for weeks on end to spread awareness about this because it is not okay.
Well, that escalated quickly. So yeah, as you can see, it very quickly went from story time, my hair doesn't look like the inspo photos, to let's tear her down, boo, women don't support women, down with this hairdresser, I'm gonna talk about this for weeks. Make sure that everybody knows that this girl made my hair the wrong kind of blonde. I feel like this is one of those times when we're reading a Reddit Am I the Asshole story and you can just tell you're not getting the full picture. You're like, why does it feel like information is missing? It very quickly became a witch hunt, if you will. It very quickly became a very out of proportion reaction to the situation. And to me, the way that she was messaging her very like manically, like I understand conveying your emotions and I understand like communicating that you're upset, but like at what point, like how many crying selfies is too many? Do you know what I mean? Like how many are we sending? When does it get a bit too much? You know, like when does it stop communicating effectively what we want? And look, I will agree. Look, her hair does not look copper. I don't know. Has she ever seen copper before? Rumor has it she never has. But I will give her this. Her hair doesn't look like the inspo photos. That is true. However, when has being so awful to someone and blasting them online, like I don't understand this mentality of like, I'm going to treat someone so terribly and in a way that I would never want to be treated to get my way, to get someone to fix it. Like that to me is what is truly bizarre. Like I don't understand why the natural reaction is to then blast someone, be so awful, be really mean, be intimidating. Like I can understand why that hairdresser said she was intimidated, because she's literally online saying she's going to talk about it for weeks because she's so mad. So anyway, let's continue with the post that she made.
I wanted to clear a few things. Number one, if she would have admitted to messing my hair up, I would have never posted. Number two, if she would have apologized, I would have never posted. Number three, if she didn't gaslight me in the chair and tell me this is beach blonde and that I was crazy and to get out, I would have never posted. People make mistakes. Things happen. I make mistakes every day. I own up to it. She messed up. She didn't want to take accountability and instead tried to gaslight me, tell me that this is beach blonde hair, which was what I originally had, and then kick me out of her chair. That is the reason that I'm posting. I am not posting because of her character. I'm not posting because of anything else besides the fact that she lied to me, she scammed me, and then she kicked me out with no apology, knowing that I am going out of town today and this is my hair for my birthday. Luckily, a local color correction stylist is going to fix me up today at 4. I used a color correcting toner to strip all the copper out of my hair last night, so I'm left with I guess you would call it brown hair. Wanted to clear this up. Yes, when she turned it gray, she did apologize. Hence why I didn't post this when that happened. I was under the impression that she was going to fix this for me, but then I go yesterday for her to fix it, and then she turns it this dark color, gaslights me in the chair, tells me that this is bright bleach blonde, and that I am crazy, and that she does not see any darkness about my hair at all. And that is why I made the post. If she knew she could not fix the gray and that she was sorry, she should have told me that. She should have said, I don't know how to fix it. Here's your money back. I apologize. I would have let the whole thing go. I would have never put this on social media. But yet she sat me back in the chair, gaslit me, turned it this dark color, and then kicked me out. And that is why I'm posting this. Again, wanting to clear things so everybody knows the full story of stuff, that I would never put somebody on blast if they were going to fix it and apologize. Not ruin it even more and then kick me out and gaslight me.
And I feel like this is so interesting because she's like, it's not my fault that I posted about her in a really aggressive tone. It's her fault because she didn't apologize and she tried to gaslight me. And I feel like it becomes really worrying when people throw those types of words around, because we have to take her full word for it, and she's not feeling like the most reliable narrator. To me, it's also incredibly interesting that this is not the first time she's gone to this hairdresser. As she said, she's been going to her for a while, and she's been doing her hair for a while. So it's obvious that she's competent enough to have done it well before. It just seems like obviously this is like, everybody makes mistakes, everybody has those days. Instead of having that existing relationship to be like, how can we fix this? I want to work together. I just found these posts specifically very interesting because it's like, it's not my fault. She gaslit me, and I think it's giving like, these are the things that I've seen go viral online before. And I think it's just really difficult because I think she's right. Like, her hair didn't turn out like the inspo photos. But why are you being so but why does that then mean you get to be mean? Why does that mean that you then get to be unkind? Why do you then deserve to be able to tear down her business, post her ad on TikTok to your hundreds of thousands of followers, because she is an influencer? So this isn't like she's a nobody. She's trying to rally the besties in the chat against someone and against their livelihood. Like, it just doesn't feel like an appropriate reaction to the situation. Anyway, next video. So it's very clear that her hair was fixable. And look, I'm not trying to poke the finger because I wasn't in the room. I wasn't a fly on the wall. Don't you want to be a creepy little sneaky little fly on the wall? I just can't help but feel like the energy and the emotions that ran so high in that situation meant that they couldn't work together to fix her hair, because if she could go somewhere else and it seems to be quite easy to fix, surely it wasn't irreversible damage. Yeah, this is a pain to have to go through, a pain to get fixed, but you're blonde again. And so this is when Goldie enters the chat, because she had not said anything despite having a TikTok and, having followers and being atted by Miss Lindsay. So she finally did make a TikTok. It is quite long, so we will be watching it on double toot sweet speed. So let's see Goldie's side of the story, because there is always another side of the story.
I'm going to start by saying that this is not an apology video, it is an explanation video, since I wanted to put my part out there. Since everybody has their own take on the situation, the only two people that know what happened is me and this girl. So I'm going to say my part and my side, and hopefully you guys can understand a little bit about what happened. I'm going to start by explaining our partnership collaboration details that started in 2022. We had an agreement that if she got her hair done for free, that she would post some Instagram videos or photos to get my name out there. So we did that a couple times, and every time I wanted to film, I reached out to her and asked her if she was ready to get her hair done again, and we would just do a collaboration. Yes, I was at a few different salons in this specific town that I live in. Most people work for themselves, so it truly doesn't matter where you're working out of. It's still your own business and your name that you stand by wherever you are. So this specific time, said girl reaches out to me and asks if she can get her hair done for her birthday trip coming up. And I said yes. Then there, in my mind, I was like, since she's asking for the appointment, I'm just assuming that I'm just going to charge her. In between the first time that she got her hair done and this time, she did show up with Starbucks and $100 to $200 in cash that I had never asked for. But the first few times I received nothing except for the exchange in videos that we had discussed, and I'm 100% okay with that. I never asked for money. This time, she comes in, sits in my chair, and we have a lengthy consultation because she's doing something different than she's done in the past. And so anybody who sits in my chair knows this, and I'm sure you can see from the comments of my clientele, the lengthy consultation that I give them to assure that this is what you want and this is what I'm going to do for you. She said, I want to do something different than I usually do. This is the photo of what I have in mind, but a touch cooler. I said, I can do that. I can do that. But I said, it's going to come up a little darker since ashy cooler tones absorb light and golden tones reflect light, which means that it looks brighter to the eye. Fast forward until we're blow drying, and she's like kind of looking in the mirror, and I'm like, okay, it came up a little bit more, grayish tones than I had expected. And so I looked at her face and I could see her panicking, and I was like, hold on, let's finish blow drying and we'll talk about it. And I finished blow drying it, and she stands up, looks closer to the mirror, and she's like, is it blonde? It looks gray. And I said, let's go to the window and look in the sunlight. Hopefully that seems a little brighter to you. And she's like looking in her camera and in the mirror, and she was like, no, I'm not sure about this. This has happened to me before. And she shows me a photo of her in the past, and she did say that she went home and cried about it and immediately went back to the hairstylist to fix it, and it didn't work. So the next time she went back and bleached it, and it was fine. And she showed me a photo, and there was clearly some breakage in the photo after she said that she had rebleached it, the stylist had rebleached it. And in my head, I'm like, okay, if that situation happens, I will not rebleach it because I will not be the stylist that breaks her hair. The next thing she said was that she was going to go home and immediately shampoo it. And I asked her if she would wait a couple days to do that. And she said no, that she wanted to go home right now and shampoo it. And I told her, I said, look, go home, shampoo it. If that's what you want to do, go to Thanksgiving, have a good time. And by Friday, if you want to shampoo it again in the morning, you can do that. And then let's get in touch with each other, see how you feel. And if you're still not happy, come back in. That's what happened. I then also told her that it was $275 for the color that we just did. And she sent me $300. I have faith in humanity that she would be on the same page as me, but she wasn't. She went home and immediately texted me all those texts. And I shut down. I got really scared, and because this is my biggest nightmare, and it was happening in front of my eyes, and I knew that the next morning I had to be up early and get ready for Thanksgiving since I was hosting for my friends and family. So I did what every anxious girl does and shut her phone off when something seems overwhelming. And so I did. I went grocery shopping with my girlfriend, and when I came home, I opened it, and I saw the way she was blowing me up. There's no way that I can get her in tomorrow since I have plans. I'm closed. I'm like any other business, no matter where I operate out of. And so I let her know, pretty sure I let her know that night that I am closed on Thursday and that I am so sorry and I want you to be happy. I'm closed tomorrow, so do a cleanse with Dawn dish soap. Let it sit for 5 minutes, let it rinse out. This is just a little trick that some girlies use at home. Hairstylists don't do that, that's fine. But if she was home, I was like, that it should work. And so that's what I told her to do. And she continued to send me updates. Anyway, Friday comes, I have a full book. I reached out as soon as I had a minute, and I let her know that I did not like the way that she was speaking to me. She had texted me all those times. What she didn't tell you guys is that she also messaged me on Instagram. She also called me twice. One time left me a minute-long voicemail about everything that she had to do, and so she had to come in today. And so I was like, you know what, I have 45 minutes. I'm gonna let her come in, and we're going to decide what to do. When she came in, she told me that she had used 2 full bottles of Dawn dish soap on her hair, and my hairstylist heart like kind of shattered because that is not good for your hair. It can't be. So I had her come to the shampoo bowl, and I used mostly clear, a half ounce of 8WG Redken Shades of Q. And anybody who knows using Dawn dish soap or any kind of clarifying shampoo, especially that's not made for your hair, is going to open up your cuticle and dry out the hair, and it's going to need any kind of moisture. And Redken Shades has all the stuff that your hair would like, and so it grabbed a little darker than we had both expected. And so after I finished blow drying it, she takes a look in the mirror and she bends over and she starts wailing. Why would you do this to me? You ruined my hair. I've been so nice to you. She stands up and towers over me and is yelling at me, saying that she had sent so many people and that I ruined her hair and that it's brown. It's also red. And why would I do this to her? And I froze. And I looked at her with her bloodshot eyes and I said, I don't feel safe with you here. So I asked her to leave. And while she's screaming at me, she says, I'm not leaving until I receive a refund. So here's the refund. Am I happy with the way that this turned out? Probably not. I wish that she would have shown me some grace as a human being and a hairstylist who's not perfect. I never claimed to be. It happens. Thank you for watching, and thank you for having my back. I never called her crazy.
So I feel like this is a very interesting perspective to add, because I think it does highlight what hair talk has become and had made it so that Goldie was probably like a deer in the headlights instead of going into that problem solving. I need to take charge. I need to communicate because this is my job. I will communicate quickly. I'm not saying that Lindsay would have not excessively messaged her still, but I do think when this is your job, you are going to make mistakes. Like, everyone is making mistakes. You need to know and be able to fix them or communicate how you're going to fix them. And I think that for her, hopefully it is a big learning lesson, and I totally can empathize and relate and understand that that would have been so overwhelming, because she literally saw this happening flash before her eyes. And I think that that is why she froze and probably panicked and, maybe didn't do the best ways to fix it. Equally with Lindsay, panicking, being really over communicative with her emotions, over messaging. Like, they were the two ends of the spectrum of Lindsay was over communicating, over sharing, bringing this intense energy to the table, and then Goldie is withdrawing. As she said, she shut down, she was anxious, she withdrew, and neither of them were able to come to a resolution, were able to use that experience and that relationship that they would have built in this working capacity. They couldn't fix it, and it just seems so strange to me that that wasn't something that was able to be done, because you would imagine that if you had worked with someone in the past, you would feel safe with them. You should be able to feel safe with them. People should be understanding that sometimes hair does different things and will react differently. While she didn't handle the situation the best, I completely understand why she froze, and like the bigger circumstances of hair talk and like this energy, and creators like Alfredo who make a living off of being like, this hairstyle is up this person's hair, and so I'm here to fix it. And like this tearing down, this exposing of someone that makes a mistake, which we literally all do in our everyday lives. Like literally no one's perfect, and we got to work it again and again to get it right. So then she did respond to a question in the comments, so let's just watch that.
First of all, I don't have to do anything. Second, I did apologize. I said I was sorry that I didn't give her exactly what she wanted. I also said that I was really sorry that she wasn't happy. I told her over text and I told her in person a couple times. Ultimately, I do what I do because I want to make my clientele happy. And if that's not the goal, then I wouldn't do what I do. I wouldn't be a hairstylist. That being said, everybody's asking for the photo of the after that I took of her. It was not styled. It was not prepared for any kind of photos, but because I had a feeling that something was about to happen, I was like, let me show you a photo of it. I'll take it for you so you can see what it looks like with natural lighting, like behind you. In the area right there, it was darker, and I told her that. So I took the photo, and that's exactly what it was. There's no edits on it. I can add it after, but there's no editing. That's exactly what it looked like. Here's the thing about blondes. It looks different in every lighting. Every room in the house will look different. Every angle of the camera, every photo, everything is going to look different. I already owned up to everything. I already put it all out there, and I will add the photo, and I will block out her face because I'm not that person. Even though I want to be. I really, really, really want to be. Trust.
And I feel like that's the thing. Probably she was more ashy than she asked to be, but also when you have ashiness in your blonde, it does look so different in every single piece of lighting. But anyway, here's the next video of Goldie's.
Correct, and she only told me about that time after the appointment was done. So from what she told me, from her years of experience doing social media and her age, if my math is correct, 2019 would have been 2 years into her doing social media. She knew what she was doing. So if you know your angles, you know your lighting, you know where you look your best, you know the coloring and everything without filters, let me say, then you also know where you're not really going to like the certain coloring that the lighting will bring out. So if you're going home and sitting in dark lighting or no lighting at all with just your flash on, it's very evident what you're doing. I want to talk about filters, and then I want to talk about her tan in person. She told me that she had gone to the tanning bed for about a week before I had seen her. She was definitely tan, but not as tan as the filters are making her seem. It literally says in the TikTok, it literally will say the filter that it's using. Use it on yourself. See how tan it makes you, and see if it changes your hair color too.
So this is when it starts to get a little bit more malicious, because if it wasn't already overt enough that Lindsay was saying down with Goldie in her TikToks, it's now kind of coming up that she's also using filters to exacerbate how her hair looks, to make it look as worse as possible, to make the change look as extreme as possible. And I just feel like it's really starting to add up to be more malicious. It's gone from a lived experience that we all have shared, which is going home and crying after the hairdressers because it's not what we wanted, to weaponizing your platform to tear down a hairdresser because when the toner didn't come out completely perfect, instead of working together, you completely escalated the situation to this chaotic mess and hairdresser nightmare. So anyway, let's watch Lindsay's final video in regards to it. And this is also a long one. Yes, it's true. So make sure you're comfy.
This is going to be the last and final video that you will see about the hair drama because it is now going into legal hands. So once this video is done being posted, the rest of my page will be back to my scheduled content. I wanted to start this video off by saying this. Number one, I never bullied anybody. Sharing an experience online and calling somebody unprofessional is not bullying. I kept matters business-wise, yet now she's taking it personal. She's liked multiple hate comments about how she hopes karma gets me. She's exploited her 13-year-old son to be a part of something that has so much hate driven behind it. I'm getting death threats every day. I hope that she is not getting that, especially now that her son is involved. She's making repetitive videos. I posted the videos that were connected from my story time and the hairstylist video. I have not posted any more about it because I've left it alone. I ended up deleting the video of my hair being done in the salon because the poor stylist that opened her salon after hours to help me is now being bullied and harassed over the internet. It's extremely unacceptable. My dental hygiene license number is being put on people's pages and people are fake reporting it to lose my job. I'm a travel hygienist. I work somewhere different every single day. I work there for the day and I worked in a place back in October and now that place is being put all over TikTok pages and people are calling and harassing them. I have no words for the amount of hate that I've gotten. I have, yes, filtered my comments because of the death threats that I'm getting underneath my videos. I also never used 2 bottles of Dawn dish soap. That is also a lie. Between me and my mom, you could see the staining of the gray on my forehead, and then here is me literally stating that I only washed it once, not 2 bottles of dish soap. I knew she was going to be fixing my hair on Friday, so I did not want to destroy the hair that I knew was going to be fixed. Those videos that I posted were after my hair had turned the darker color. I did not run to the internet the first time she messed my hair up. Mistakes happen. Things happen. I make mistakes, I own up to them, and I move on. The reason I posted the video is because I was gaslit in the chair and told that my hair was beach blonde, my regular blonde color, when it was not. And then I was told to get out. I also never asked for an ashy blonde hair. $130 an hour for 3 to 5 hours. I showed her these 2 photos, this one and also this one. In my eyes, those were not ashy blonde. If the stylist thought that those were a cooler ashy, whatever you want to call it, I'm not a hairstylist, I don't know the colors, gray, blonde, she should have pulled up a photo on her phone and showed me and asked me if that was what I wanted before we started. And yes, I showed her in the beginning of our appointment my hair that had turned an ashy, cooler, whatever tone blonde in the past, and specifically asked her not to do it like this. I did not do it at the end of the appointment. That is also another lie. Here are the photos from 2019. This is how my hair is, like this silvery color. I asked her not to make it like this. I also showed her this one. That stylist fixed my hair the same day when he knew that I wasn't happy, and I've been seeing him for years since. The only reason I stopped going to him is because she reached out to me and asked me to do my hair for free a couple years ago. I still maintain contact with him, and he has reached out to me during this entire thing. So there is no past experience, whatever you guys want to call it. I want to talk about the premeditation side of things and that you guys are saying because I didn't want to pay the $300 or the $200 whatever with the tip. I have always given Goldie money as a tip, even though she didn't charge me for a service after. So the money side of things doesn't make any sense to me. Also, why would I premeditate my hair being destroyed before a birthday trip out of the country and then have to pay to get it fixed? I'm not going to show the amount that I paid the stylist that fixed my hair because she is already getting enough hate, but yes, I did pay for her service and left her a large tip. But here is quotes that I've gotten for color correction. So why would I want to pay this amount when I could have just paid what it was in the beginning to have it how I liked it? So let's take out the money side of things because that doesn't make any sense. I never screamed at her, I never towered over her. I sat in the chair and I cried and I asked her why she did this to me, and she told me I didn't do anything, your hair is blonde, when it was clearly a very dark color. Call it copper, call it brown, call it whatever you want, it was not blonde. And I have every right to get a refund when my hair is not anything how I like it, and I've been back twice. So for those of you guys saying that I should have paid, that doesn't make any sense. The reason that my fingers were people saying purple is because of this. I never use purple shampoo. She told me not to use purple shampoo. The day that I left, when I had that coppery brown color, I knew I wasn't going to be going back to her because of how things ended, and I did not think I was going to be able to get into a salon before I left. And I did not want to leave with a reddish undertone tint in my hair. So I had many hairstylists reach out to me and ended up getting this from my friend. This is a blue shampoo. It's supposed to neutralize the orange tone. This is what I used and why my fingers looked a little of that darker color. And this is why my hair ended up looking that like brownish color after instead of the reddish color, but still was not what I liked and did not feel confident in. I was lucky that the hairstylist that reached out to me and opened her salon was able to get me in after hours, and I was there till 9 o'clock at night. I had a 4:30 flight in the morning. All of these big creators that are taking my video and making parody versions and trying to make me look like such a terrible person, shame on them. That's how they're getting money. That's how they're getting paid. I'm also getting paid off of this. I've been very straightforward with you guys from the get-go that I get paid off of TikTok. I didn't make this whole story to get paid off of TikTok about my hair. I wouldn't go through the emotional trauma of my hair being screwed up to make a couple $100. That also doesn't make any sense. Yes, I am getting in touch with multiple lawyers about the whole entire thing and letting things play out in the hands of the law. At the end of the day, it is an illegal hair salon without a business license in an HOA property that does not allow it. And her saying my screenshots are premeditation, I'm sending these to my mom to tell her what's going on. I don't live with my mom. I'm showing her the pictures and telling her what's going on. I also want to point out the fact that it may look like I'm harassing her, but if you look at the timestamps of the messages, they are sent over the period of 3 days. Bottom line is, she should have never let me leave the salon when I was unhappy with my hair the second I looked in the mirror. She should have taken accountability, fixed my hair that day. I got out of there around between 3 and 4 o'clock. She could have easily done something to my hair so I would leave happy. I shouldn't pay $300 for a service and be told to go home and wash my hair with Dawn dish soap. Here are timestamps: 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock the next day. I was not blowing her phone up. This is over a period of time. And as a professional, you should respond back and say I will get back in touch with you, not just completely ghost your client. 9:30, the day we were supposed to get together at some point. And I waited until 12 to text her again. This was the day of the appointment. As soon as I left, when she knew I was upset, I had texted her. And then no response, so I sent her a picture at 5 after I washed my hair one time with Dawn dish soap. Knowing that I was unhappy, she could have A, fixed it that same day that I was sitting in her chair telling her I wasn't happy, or B, set up a time and sent a confirmation text with a time for Friday or Saturday morning or something. Don't just leave your client hanging and waiting and hoping that eventually they're gonna get back in touch. But the hate has got to stop. People make mistakes. That's okay. I was okay that she made a mistake the first time and made my hair too gray. I trusted her enough to go back and allow her to fix it for me. I was not mad. You can read those texts. I was just very upset that I told her in the chair I was unhappy and she sent me out the door and told me it was not gray. And yes, the photos in different lightings looks different. She's the one that stated that in her video. In the picture she took, it was the back of my head and where a light was shining and bright. When my hair is in natural sunlight or with a flash or in a different color, it was gray. You can ask anybody that has saw me that day and the days after. My hair was a gray color and then it was a coppery color. Lighting plays a big role in photos. We all know that. So for those of you guys who believe the first thing that she says and run with it and come to my page and hate on me, shame on you. And shame on you for sending death threats, harassments, and fake things to the dental board to try to get me fired, all because I posted that I was unhappy with my hair experience.
And I have had people reach out to me that have had their hair done by her and have had the exact same problem and experience with her gaslighting them in the chair and telling them that it's what they wanted and then kicking them out. And unfortunately, they didn't get their money back and their hair was destroyed. Maybe my hair wasn't destroyed, but my hair was destroyed in my eyes being blonde. And that was how I perceived my hair. Feels good to know I'm not the only person that has experienced this with her. And for those wondering why my hair was red, apparently WG makes it red. And that's what she said she used on my hair. So it makes sense.
I really underestimated how hateful this world can be. With that being said, the rest of it's in the law's hands, and I will be going about my scheduled content.
It just feels a little bit ironic that, okay, she was saying in her initial video, share, 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 I'm not letting this go, posting about Goldie. When she got when it came back around, what goes around comes around, she didn't like it. And this is what I mean by, like, I think that she is valid and it's not incorrect that her hair did not look like what she wanted. But the way that you communicate and treat people makes such a huge difference. It makes a huge difference out of the energy you'll receive when you share your experiences, out of how the person that may have made the mistake will react to you. Like, I just feel like it's so interesting to me that she does not see any part that she's played in this situation. She doesn't see how the way she communicates contributes and exacerbates the situation. It's as all of our mums or someone in our family would always say, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. Sometimes that matters. Sometimes it's not even about what you're saying, it's about how you're saying it. And I genuinely believe in this situation, these are just two humans that made mistakes, but like, the way that she reacted in this situation is so strange to me. Again, we're seeing these influencers. I'm like, how do influencers and people that literally build a brand of being a light person not know how to communicate with people in their real lives? Why is it so hard? Literally, why is it so hard? I don't understand. And I feel like this to me is what leads into the bigger hair talkification of it all, if you will. Because I feel like a huge reason that this happened is because of the dynamics on Hair Talk. Because we have hairdressers who make those story times about the crazy clients, about the clients that blow up at them, who try to get them fired, who try to get them cancelled, who try to ruin their reputation. And equally, we have the clients sharing the worst of the worst outcome, like the outcomes that we fear. It's created this real anxiety between hairdressers and their clients, where it's like, as a client, you feel so anxious if you ever used a temporary color, if you ever used a box dye, if you ever did anything that's not a professional product, there's an anxiety. Equally with, like, if you don't bring the perfect reference photo, if you don't know exactly the right color or term to say, that you might communicate it wrong and that the hairstylist won't understand you. And I feel like equally the hairdressers have it in the reverse, where they're so anxious that clients are coming in with either unrealistic expectations, with a lot of things in their hair that could cause things to go wrong, with the worry that if they don't make it perfect that they will get exposed online. And it's just created this huge level, to me at least, of anxiety and like worry. And it's like, it's getting your hair done is supposed to be fun and exciting and like make you feel better about yourself, but I feel like it's created this really stressful tension around getting your hair done, around the relationship you have with your stylist, and making sure you don't ruin it, you don't do the wrong thing, you don't do the wrong thing as a stylist or a client. And I feel like for hairdressers especially, this is their nightmare client. This is their nightmare situation. That's why I've seen so many hairdressers rally behind Goldie, and I do think it's because also like the way that she was talked to and the way that Lindsay came for her as a person was completely uncalled for, and that's why she's gotten so much support. And so I did want to show you guys some of the other hair talkers' reactions and responses to the situation, because I do think it's important, and I do think it reflects this bigger tension and energy around hair talk that we are seeing and that stylists feel.
I just watched that video series of the girl who got her hair like toned too much twice, and oh my God, like, yes, the hair was toned too much. Like, the first time it was too gray, the second time it was too dark. But I can tell you with almost 100% accuracy that this is what happened. She overtoned it too ashy the first time, definitely made a mistake, probably didn't have the time to fix it right on the spot. So she was like, just wash it when you go home and it'll wash up. I don't agree with that approach, but I understand, and I've totally done that in the past. Like, it will wash up. It's a toner. If she probably knew the lift was good underneath and the toner will wash up and whatever. But then for the girl to just berate her over text until she responded, like, she didn't give, like, she was probably, the poor stylist was probably suffocating under the pressure of this girl valuing her own time over anybody else's. Like, on a holiday week, like, yeah, of course, like, it sucks that you're going out of the country and it's Thanksgiving and this and that, but like, like the stylist owned up to it. She refunded the money, apparently. I saw in some of the comments. Like she refunded the money before she made this TikTok. Like the internet is just so sick sometimes. Like for someone to feel so entitled to just speak to someone like that and be so demanding, like your hair wasn't falling the fuck out. Like it was overtoned. She said she could fix it. She answered you when she could. You need to like practice a little bit of patience perhaps. But like to resort to like, and oh my God, like the way she's saying like, I want to spread awareness about this. You want to spread awareness? Like how small is the world that you live in that you think like spreading awareness is telling the internet that your hair was toned 2 colors that you didn't like? Like, oh my fucking God. We really need, like, as a society, we really need to reel it in. Like, the entitlement is incredible. Like, I understand being unhappy with something and not getting your way, but it's like really powerful to be able to sit in that uncomfortable feeling and wait for a proper solution. Like, at the end of the day, my opinion, after all it's said and done, you did it to yourself. I'm sorry. But if a client spoke to me the way that that girl was spoken to, I would have fucked up too. Like, I would not have done a good job. And I can't. I have so much to say, but I'm really stopping myself because I'm like not trying to fight on the internet. But like, I feel so sad for that stylist. She deleted her TikTok. I haven't tried to search her up on Instagram. But like, the girl also, she was like, all the money I make off of these videos, I'm gonna give the proceeds to the stylist and her assistant that fixed my hair. Like the way you're speaking, like, oh my God, like open a fucking book or something. Read the news. Like, see what's going on in the real world because you're clearly in a fucking fantasy land.
Okay, this is the last I'm going to talk about this because it's like really annoying. But that girl posted like a 9.5-minute video about how she's taking legal action against the stylist and like the hate on the internet is crazy, this and that, whatever. That was her goal for herself in that initial video. She tagged the stylist. She said, I want to spread awareness. I'm going to make as many videos until as many people know. So if the tables were turned and people sided with her, which is the outcome that she wanted, she would have been happy. But because she knows like the nature of the internet. She's well aware of the way that people take things. And she's saying she's getting like threats and whatever, and like no one deserves to get those for something so silly like this. But like, you know what happens when you do the things that you did, and you thought everyone was going to side with you because clearly you crave validation, but because it was done in favor of the stylist because you were a bully, you're pissed off and upset and you're throwing a fucking tantrum. Like at the end of the day, like she's allowed to hate her hair. She's allowed to think the stylist did something wrong. Again, can't speak on that because I wasn't there. I really don't know what happened. I just looked at the videos that I looked at. But like, you could be upset all you want. No one was saying, I mean, there were people saying that she was wrong and like she should have liked her hair. I think everyone's allowed to have their own opinions on anything, but it's the way you communicate and the way that you handle yourself after. Whenever there's an issue, addressing it in a normal way will get you so much further. And she went on and on about the timestamps and how she like texted her over a period of 3 days. And like, again, I can't speak on behalf of the stylist, but like she said in one of her videos that she shut down. And like, I probably would have too. Like this girl's energy, even just from her initial video, like if you're sending a car selfie of you crying, like I would feel petrified. Like I would be like, oh my God, she has 400,000 followers. I just stepped on a landmine. And I probably would have shut down too. Like, I'm not saying it's the right approach, but like we're humans, you know, like you just didn't like what happened and you threw a tantrum because clearly this is the way that you get everything in life. Like, it's just very clear to me. Like, I hate to pass judgment on people, but like, you're giving me all the evidence to judge, you know, it's like, I just think her behavior is really ugly. And I think that her pressing charges or like trying to say that her business is illegal and she did it out of her house, like you had no problem with it when it was benefiting you. You had no problem dragging her on the internet when it benefited you. But once it doesn't benefit you, now you have to flip the script and now you're like, well, I'm gonna get my way anyway. And I'm gonna press charges or I'm gonna get someone involved to get her in trouble. Like, that's disgusting. You know, you're not getting your dentist, whatever the fuck license you have, your teeth cleaning license. You're not getting that taken away over this TikTok video. Like, maybe places won't want you around, but like, if this is your character, I don't fucking blame them. Maybe you shouldn't be a spoiled brat on the internet. You know, it's like you're getting mad at people for punishing you for the things that you did. Like you did this stuff. You brought it upon yourself. I feel really sad for the stylist. And I think that given the circumstances, she did the best job that she could. And no one is prepared to handle not only like having a slip up, but then having it blasted all over the internet to be, maybe the girl's embarrassed. Like, who knows? Like, it's just like icky to me. And like I've made so many mistakes in my career and I've gone home and cried about them. And I've been really upset and disappointed in myself. If the shit that I did was like blasted all over the internet, like I don't know what I would do. Like, it would give me like no faith in myself. And I don't know if I would keep going in the career. Like, so I feel really sad and I hate the way that this whole thing has turned out. And I just really hope that nothing bad happens to the stylist. And this girl disgusts me.
I feel like she made some really good points actually, because that's so true. It's like you're already so worried about the fact that you've made a mistake. But yeah, keeping in mind that this girl has over 400,000 followers on TikTok. So it's like, you know where this could lead. It's not that she was overreacting and thinking that she would blast her, because she has the huge platform to do so. People with no platforms can do it. So imagine what someone with a head start of 400,000 followers could do. And equally, the irony of her saying, like, people are trying to get rid of her license, but then she's like, but her business is illegal actually, so I'm getting her shut down. And I think it's just like, this truly is a lot of hairstylists' worst nightmare, as it is a lot of clients' worst nightmare too. But the difference is how you communicated it, how you acted. And it's worrying to think that worst case scenario, she saw this bad thing that happened and saw it as a way to get the likes, clicks, and engagement, rally the besties in the chat. Like, it is pretty concerning that that was something that she saw could happen out of the situation and really tried to weaponize it.
I know editing me is always so scary, but I was just scrolling TikTok and I saw this video by another hairdresser where she showed every single step that happened in theory to Lindsay's hair and playing it out on swatches, and I'll play it after my yip yaps right now. But I feel like it proves two things. Sure, Lindsay was not lying. That is what the toner did. But also, it was not damage beyond repair. And to me, just further confirms that, like, communication, creating a safe relationship with a client and your stylist, and, like, just learning from your mistakes and knowing how to correct them, like, would go such a long way. And hopefully for Goldie, she at least gets some tools to learn how to correct things like this in the future. But I don't know. For Lindsay, it's like, how do you correct your mentality that you think it's okay to treat people like, you know, like, I'm not sure it's so simple to correct something like that. Like, the way I see it, Goldie is learning how to problem solve and creating a community and having more people support and rally her and show her how to resolve these situations in the future. So she's gaining a lot out of this situation, and although it would have been really scary, I'm glad that she's gotten the support from her peers and as well the general support from the community. But I don't know what Lindsay is learning in this situation. She's kind of just like, oh, I only like it when bad things happen to other people. I only like it when other people get held accountable. I'm actually only okay when other people are held accountable. And I just, can you please not hold me accountable? And the fact that she came on TikTok with a pretty malicious intention to drag someone down and tear them down and call out their business and now legally report their business, like, these are just two very different outcomes, and I feel like they really demonstrate two very different types of people and what they're going to get out of a learning experience and out of, like, a problem solving opportunity. You had the chance to resolve something, work as a team, build and be better. And I see one person getting that out of the situation and one person not. But anyway, here's the video and then we'll get back to less scary me.
I've seen some pretty ridiculous takes about what was done to this person's hair from both hairdressers and non-hairdressers, so I figured today let's take a step into the Caitlin Ford Color Lab and run a full experiment. I've got the Dawn dish soap, the AWG, the Pureology Color Fantastic, and I've got time, so let's go. I'm going to start by overtoning this hair using 1/2 Redken Shades 9NA and 10NA. Apply this to wet hair, and we're going to let it go ahead and process the full 20-minute recommended processing time. Here's what the swatches looked like after the toner in inside light and in outdoor light. And just as a reminder, here is what Lindsay's hair looked like in outdoor light so that you can see these swatches side by side in comparison to her hair when it was originally overtoned. For this experiment, my plan was to treat one of the swatches with Malibu Quick Fix. For one of the swatches, I simply shampooed and blow dried. In the last swatch, I was going to wash 3 times with Dawn dish soap. I'm not using 3 bottles of Dawn on a teeny tiny piece of hair, so I left the Dawn dish soap each time to sit for 5 minutes before rinsing it out each round. Here was the results of the first round. The first swatch you see is 5 minutes with Malibu Quick Fix. The second is just 1 shampoo and blow dry. And the third is Dawn dish soap 3 times, processing 5 minutes each time. Now let's get to the controversial Shades 8WG. Don't have the exact mixing ratio for this. Goldie said she used 1/2 ounce of 8 8WG with mostly clear. I decided to do 1 part 8WG and 5 parts clear. Applied this to both the Dawn swatch, which is the swatch on the right, as well as the just washed and blow dried overtone swatch on the left. I've seen so much misinformation projected around this product. Hairstylist said that 8WG is the equivalent of orange kicker in shades, which is absolutely wild to me. Hairstylist said that the dilution with the clear makes no difference because it's still an 8. I'm gonna help all y'all out by showing on the last swatch, applying the diluted shades formula to one piece of that swatch and then the straight 8WG to the other swatch so you can see those side by side. And here are the results of this. This is the straight 8WG, then we've got the 8WG diluted 5 times, and then we have a raw piece of blonde hair just for comparison. Hopefully now we are not any more confused about what dilution does to color and the effect that it has on color. 8WG does not look like orange kicker. The diluted 8WG on these swatches, not sure if you can tell, but I definitely can. The Dawn side, which was the right side, is darker than the left side, which was completely unfaded, just washed and blow dried from that overtone. Dawn side definitely felt a little rough. Take a look at the lightest pieces in Lindsay's hair. Level wise, this looks very similar to the swatches that I made. Not done yet. We are leaving out the part that Lindsay left out in her original video, included in her most recent video after getting called out for her blue stained hands. This Color Fantastic Top Coat and Tone by Pureology, as you can see, is recommended for levels 4 to 7 with orange undertones. This is why Lindsay's hair continued to look darker and darker with each post that she made. The directions on the back of the bottle state to shampoo the hair and then apply this to the hair and leave it in for 5 to 10 minutes. That's exactly what I'm doing. Here are my results of the Pureology Color Fantastic. That is the swatch that's on the right with the previously toned swatch on the left. Now I hope that this removes any doubt that that product was absolutely contributing to the overall dark appearance of Lindsay's hair, without a doubt. We're not even done yet because after all of this, what I'm doing is taking each and every one of these swatches and we are throwing that Malibu Quick Fix on top of it. Next, I followed up with Malibu CPR and processed with heat for about 15 minutes, although this product can be processed up to 45 minutes with heat. And here are the results. The first swatch is straight 8WG, second 8WG diluted, third unwashed overtone, last one treated with Dawn. Here are all the swatches together with a new raw blonde swatch on the very right of all of these so you can see them side by side. Hopefully that clears up any confusion about all the products that were used throughout this entire story. And the moral of the story to me is when in doubt, Malibu it out. But I also want to emphasize, to come on the internet and say that your hair is ruined and destroyed by a toner is absolutely ridiculous when that can be reversed without bleach. And I have no idea how you're claiming that it took 5 hours to remove that from your hair. The point is that Lindsay was claiming that Goldie did not take responsibility for making a mistake in her color fix choices. And to me, taking accountability for that is acknowledging that you can't go any further and giving your client a refund and allowing them to go somewhere else. No hairdresser is perfect. And I hope that we can have some grace moving forward, especially with things the way that they are now, towards other small business owners. And just remember that your hairdresser is a human being.
And honestly, to me, I feel like this is just such a sad reflection of how so many people feel going to the hairdressers now. It's not fun. People feel like it's way too expensive, so they do stuff on their own. And then when they do go to the hairdressers, because it's expensive, they have these really high expectations. They feel like they're dropping a lot of money for one day, for one appointment. And so the expectations are high, the pressure is high. And I feel like in a lot of ways, the environment that Hair Talk has created, both from the stylist sides of being like, this is the worst client I've ever had and they suck. From both ends, it's just not that excitement anymore. There's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety. And like, that's really sad to me because I remember when I was younger, I loved going to the hairdresser. It was so fun. It was so exciting. And now it just feels like everyone's walking on eggshells. Everyone's so scared. No one's having fun anymore. And it's just like, how did we get here? Like, how did we get here? And I feel like that's my cue to stop yapping, to be honest. So I would love to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Please let me know. You guys always have such great thoughts and opinions, so please let me know in the comments down below. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. If you stayed till the end, you are, oh my god. Wax wanted to be in the outro. Okay, let's do the outro with him. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you stayed till the end, hey buddy. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you stayed till the end, oh wow. You are a real one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to keep up with me between my uploads, I'm on TikTok and Instagram, and I will link my vlog channel down below. We are doing a Vlogmas. Yes, it is true. All the rumors are true. So I'm posting a lot over there at the moment. Honestly, he's stolen the show. He truly has. This is the cutest thing I think I've ever seen in my whole life. I don't want to stop yapping because this is just so adorable. What do you think about hair talk? He thinks that everyone just wishes they looked as fabulous as he does. Oh my god, what a cutie pie. But anyway, I probably should wrap up this video. Give this cat my full and undivided attention because clearly I've been not giving him any attention for too long. So yeah, links down below, vlog channel down below. YouTube should be suggesting another one of my videos on the screen right now. But most importantly, don't worry guys, because I'm not funny there either. Bye!